Dame Lillard actually be traded by the Blazers?
Will he actually be traded by them? I don't see it. I don't see it because there's two cards they could play. One is just the card that every franchise tries to play. Hey, you signed on the dotted line and we have your rights. 2019, he signs a 4-year extension. Let's do some simple math. 2019, 2023. Wait a minute. It's not 2023. So what you doing? But this is the card that I think they're really going to try to play. Because right now, how this story is even leaking out and coming out and unrolling is not necessarily in favor of Damian Lillard because he's always played the loyalty card. So they're like, oh, we didn't have this card. You gave us this card. So let's not have to counterpunch with the loyalty card. Now, I know Dame doesn't give a damn ultimately because he cares more about himself than he does about the persona and brand of just being loyal. So he's going to do what's best for him and his family. I respect that, and he should go. However, boy, this one is far from over in terms of how the public always comes and in the court of public opinion rules on these kind of decisions and transactions. I don't think they're going to let him go. We'll see if he fights his way out.
I think they will. I think they should. And I think the timing makes the most sense right now. You got a new head coach. Okay. Ownership in question. And it's like if you're ever going to make a huge change, now's when you make it. The kicker, though, Sel, is we spend so much of our shows, so much of sports shows, arguing about, well, somebody gets traded, it's not good for this person or it's not good for that person. What if they're mutually beneficial breakups? I don't know why even Packers Aaron Rodgers, well, the Packers would be taking the L. Y'all drafted Jordan Love in the first round. Who's to say he won't mature into something and maybe bring y'all more fortune than Aaron Rodgers did? Talking Dame Lillard. Who's to say you couldn't trade Dame Lillard and actually end up better and he go on and have success? The only story for him I will give you is this. Remember the Lakers, trade Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is maybe the second greatest Laker of all time, third, fourth. He's in the top 5 of the most storied franchise or second most storied franchise in NBA history. Trade Shaquille O'Neal, you get Lamar Odom, you get Caron Butler, I believe. You get a first-round pick that's used on Jordan Farmar. Shaq instantly goes and wins a ring. Y'all remember this with the Heat and D-Wade. Well, Lamar Odom and Farmar both contributed to going to 3 finals 3 years later and winning 2 of them with Kobe Bryant. The Lakers won and Shaq won. So if you get rid of Dame, it's not to say the Blazers, y'all are going to lose, so you got to hold on to him so tight. There's a space where y'all both win.
Yeah, it's interesting right now, literally to my point, Dame Lillard is in front of reporters saying, quote, the report is not true. Lot is being said that is not coming from me. That's why I'm saying this one is going to be a hard-fought battle no matter how it plays out. Whether he stays or not, it sounds like him and the reporters are now going to have beef. If he goes, it sounds like the court of public opinion and the organization is going to have beef with him. I want to see him with the Lakers. I'm a Clipper fan, but boy, come to the Lakers, and they can offer up everything. Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, 2 first-round picks, Hollywood Boulevard, half a Melrose, Kuzma shoe collection. Like, it's there's a lot of stuff you got to give up to get him, but boy, L.A. would be on fire if Dame Dollar was in the building. Coming up, Giannis's big block helped tie up the series. But tell you, if tomorrow's Game 5 is more important for his Bucks than time. I said 11-time All-Star, had a bad Game 4, but he's still averaging 21 points and 8 assists per game during his first trip to the NBA Finals. Chris is back, but Acho, would a Finals win make Chris Paul a top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point guard?
No, sir. And I love Chris Paul, but I cannot be a prisoner of the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the list. Obviously, we got Magic at number 1. I'm going Steph at number 2. For the sake of honoring my elders, I'm putting a big O at number 3. I didn't see him play. I've seen highlights. I've looked up stats. I looked up stats. I looked up highlights. I'm putting a big O at number 3. At number 4, I'm putting Isaiah Thomas. At number 5, I'm putting Steve Nasty Nash, okay? 2-time NBA MVP. I'm putting respect on his name, giving respect where it is due. After Nash, I go Stockton, then I go Kidd, and then I go Paul. Chris Paul winning a NBA Finals title would up him past Stockton. It would put him past Kidd. Obviously, Kidd won a title at 37 years of age with the Mavericks, but a much lesser contributor than Chris Paul has been to the Suns team, because I watched those Mavericks. That's my squad, Dallas. So even if Chris Paul does win one, it doesn't somehow jump him over Steve Nash, a 2-time Finals MVP. Here's what I caution everybody to do in NCB. Please take this and run with it. remember what people did and when they did it. If you go back and look at Steve Nash's numbers now, you might scoff at him. He won a Finals MVP with 18 points, Acho, and 12 assists. He won a regular season MVP with 18 points, Acho, and 12 assists. He won it with 18 points and 10 assists, Acho. That means nothing now. But remember what he did when he was doing it. Those 11 assists were 3 more assists per game than the next closest person on the list. That's back when being a point guard was kind of like Allen Iverson. You were scoring first. Steve Nash said, you know what, I'm going to go back to the traditional ways of making everybody else better. Leandro Barbosa became a dude. Sean Marion, the Matrix, was a dude. Amari Stoudemire, a dude. He had everybody around him better en route to becoming a two times NBA MVP. Chris Paul, many could argue, has never even been the best point guard in the league while he was in the league. Oh, I want to see Broussard's face because I'm about to say some real reckless things.
Real reckless.
But Chris Paul comes into the league. Steve Nash was the best point guard, undisputably. Then there was a blip there where maybe it was Chris Paul, but Derrick Rose quickly became the best point guard. Then maybe there was another blip there, then it was Chris Paul, but Steph Curry quickly became the best point guard. You can't find a 2 to 3 year stretch where Chris Paul was the best at his position during his era. And for me, even if he wins a chip, he's not top 5. He's just knocking on the door of it.
Ooh.
Wow. First of all, I already got him at 5th. All right. The one thing I agree with, Acho, that you said, your top 4 was on point. Magic, Steph, Oscar, Isaiah. I'm with you there.
My dog.
Right now, without the title, 5th is obviously arguable. And you brought up all these names of great players, so it's arguable. If he wins this championship, it's definitive. It is Chris Paul, period, the end. Now, look, if Chris Paul leads the Phoenix Suns to this championship, Acho, he will be only the 3rd small point guard in the history of the league, a 74-year history, I might add, who has led a team to a championship. 3rd, joining Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry. That is it. And none of the guys you mentioned have ever done that. Steve Nash, let's start there. He never even got to a finals, let alone led a team to the finals championship. Now, Steve Nash, I like Nash. I got him behind Stockton and Kidd. Like, Nash, to me, isn't even in the discussion. And here's why. Because Steve Nash, as great as he was, and I voted for him twice for MVP when he won it, he was largely benefited from the Mike D'Antoni system. When Steve Nash was in Dallas, he was on the decline. His last year in Dallas, Mark Cuban was like, yeah, that money, you can have him. You know, we've seen the best of Steve Nash. He goes to Mike D'Antoni's system, which is any downhill point guard loves. James Harden put in historic numbers. Chris Duhon had his best years. Ray Felton had his best years. Jeremy Lin got 2 Sports Illustrated covers off the Mike D'Antoni system. So Steve Nash benefited from that. But Acho, look at who he played with. Dirk, still didn't get a ring. Amari Stoudemire, still didn't get a ring. Joe Johnson, Sean Marion, with Amari Stoudemire. The 4 of them still didn't get a ring. And wasn't that competitive in the conference finals when they got there. So Steve Nash is out. John Stockton, all-time leader in steals and assists. Great dude, great player. But check this out. You just a few segments ago went off on Chris Paul for having a 10-point game with 15 turnovers in the last 3 games. This is what John Stockton averaged over the last 2 games of the 97 finals against Michael Jordan. 13 points, 5 assists. All right? And then the year later, 1998, this is what John Stockton averaged over the last 5 games. 7 points and 9 assists on 40% shooting.